We begin by talking about the really cool new app that just came out called Skylight. It's an app which lets you know ahead of time whether tonight's sunset is photo worthy or not. Let's jump right in and start talking about the app. Skylight. It's called Skylight. It's in the Apple App Store. There's a free 1-week trial. You can pay $2.99 either a week or $9.99 for the year.
I've been using it all week actually to very poor results. Not because of me, because of the weather. But yeah, it's a really fun, simple, classy little app. I really enjoy it. I'm fortunate to know the development team behind the app, the guys at Lux Camera, Sebastian and Ben. I've known them for a while, obviously through Halide, the camera app, which has been a very successful app. My go-to camera app on my iPhone. So yeah, I was excited when they brought out this new app this week, and it looks very simple. It does exactly what it says on the tin. You know, it shows you when the sunset is going to be, when the golden hour, sunset, the afterglow is going to be, and basically tells you if it's going to be any good. But then when you dive into the work they've done on the back end, it's pretty incredible what they're actually doing. They're not just guessing at it. They're using dozens, I think something like 20 different, parameters to work out whether there's going to be a sunset. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully one day it's going to be actually tell me there's a good sunset.
Well, one of the biggest things that I've encountered is that I'll be sitting here wondering if it's going to be a good sunset. Should I get out? Should I go run down? And should I go take a picture of the sunset? And I'll go run down there, and it's a dud. And if I can pay $10 a year for an app that will tell me there's going to be a great sunset tonight, or let's look at that picture again, it's going to be spectacular. Spectacular. Well, gosh, I think I better go run down and pick that up. Okay, so Skylight, $10 a year. I will happily pay for it. It's about as simple as it gets. It's either fair, poor, good, spectacular, and a lot of information there. I want to ask you about sunsets, because sunsets are so important. I think that they're probably the most desired photo by most photographers is to show a great sunset, because they are one of the greatest creations known to man, right? What are the sunsets like in Scotland, my friend? Tell us about them.
Like anything related to weather in Scotland, they're very changeable and very unpredictable. Although now that we have Skylight, maybe we can predict them a little bit better. They can be hugely dramatic, and they can be very uninspiring as well, when it can be very grey. What's interesting is we're obviously heading towards summer, and up in the north of Scotland, we don't quite have midnight sun, but certainly sunsets very late in the evening. So sunset sunrise images, although beautiful in the summer, are quite difficult because they're either super early in the morning or super late at night. But if you wait till winter time, then the sun only comes up for a fairly short window, so you can very quickly get a sunrise and a sunset in winter. If all these factors which the team at Skylight are monitoring, from atmospheric pressure to pollution to cloud cover to precipitation, if all those things align, then you can have pretty dramatic skies. We get a lot of cloud in Scotland, and a sunset with clouds is in my mind is one of the best sunsets you can get, when you get that afterglow, but it's hitting the underside of the cloud bank. The only frustrating thing is when that cloud bank sits right on the horizon and you get no sunset at all. But it's not easy in Scotland.
I have found that the iPhone actually does better sunset shots than my Sony. which, as weird as that sounds, but I really, really believe it. This iPhone is taking 9 photos at once, which my Sony is not doing, and then merging them all together. Have you had that similar experience?
Which current iPhone are you using?
I have the
Is it the
iPhone
14?
14 Pro Max, but
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
thing on the 12 and the 13. Yeah.
I There was a period. It's pretty good now. There was a period, a few years ago where iPhone did not handle sunsets particularly well. Those intense reds used to really bleed together, and it used to struggle to handle them. But yeah, as you see now, the computational maths that it's doing on multiple images, not just on a single image, to give you the best that it can possibly do is, yeah, it's pretty incredible what it's doing with such a tiny device.
Yeah, I will say that when the sun is actually visible, I have the green dot issue, and I don't know if you've lived
Yeah,
through that one, but it's really hell. Is this little green dot, and my only solution for it is to raise the image so that I get the dot in the sun where it will bleed away and that you don't see it. Aside from that, I got a green dot in the image that I can fix in Photoshop. But it's the afterglow. It's the afterglow. It's the afterglow show on the sunset where the colors are really amazing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time of day when you really learn to understand the phases of a sunset and the different, people talk about sunset images, but there's several phases to sunset, as that Skylight app kind of alludes to. Everything from the sun starting to go down in that golden hour, right through to the kind of blue hour, where long after the sun set, and before it goes actually dark is another great time
Yeah.
to take
So
photographs as well.
so where I live in Manhattan Beach, which is a suburb of LA, beach community, November and December are the key months for sunsets, sometimes in January as well. Something about the shape of the world and where things are
Hmm.
landing. So I assume do you have something similar in Scotland? Best time? Would be
Yeah,
winter?
yeah. It's sort of spring and autumn are always for me the most successful time, especially in the autumn or in the fall when if you get that window right just as the leaves are changing color and you have that beautiful color. It's also the angle of the earth at that point allows for these really low angles of the sun to give you these longer periods where the intensity of the sun's at a more pleasant kind of angle to the earth. So it gives you that longer ability to shoot. So yeah, October's my kind of favorite time of year to shoot
Okay.
in, in,
Well,
in
I
Scotland.
hopefully this year we'll get to do it together.